Hello and welcome to an episode of The Grafter Show. If you're into fitness and personal training, then you definitely don't want to miss this episode. I sat down with Tony Alphaa, a personal trainer in his early 20s, and we spoke about his journey so far. Despite his young age, Tony had a lot of wisdom to share, especially around positivity. You can find him on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook as Tony Alphaa. That's Alpha with two A's at the end, and also on Snapchat as Tony E0. So without further ado, here's the episode. Tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of what you're doing at the moment, and then we can just crack on from there.
Yeah, so as everyone knows, my name is Tony. I am a personal trainer. I've been personal training since January, so I'm sort of new into the whole into the whole business. However, I've been training for quite a while now. I've been training for 2-3 years. So I've got quite a bit of experience, anyways. Yeah, I went to university in Bedford, studied sports science and coaching. At the moment, I'm looking into doing a master's or maybe some sort of sort of a different sort of training sort of thing, maybe a level 4, level 5, something like that. Obviously, just to enhance my keep enhancing sort of thing. Yeah, I'm into all sort of things, not just fitness. I'm trying to get into other different aspect of just like media stuff, maybe. Because I also do video editing. As you may see on my Instagram, I've got different sort of like videos that have different sort of edits. So I do video editing as well. But yeah, I'm the sort of person who likes to learn a lot. So I don't like to just do just one thing. I mean, I have a passion for fitness, but I like to do different sort of things.
Yeah, and just out of interest, how old are you at the moment, if that's okay?
I'm 22 years old.
So you're still very, very early in your journey, I guess. So it's a great stage. And obviously, I think learning is something that you just do your entire life. I don't think there's any time that you just say, oh, I'm young, I'm going to learn now, and I don't need to learn later. I think you've got the right attitude there that you just want to keep learning, keep trying new things. And it sounds like you've got the right mindset in terms of you want to enhance your skill set as well, which is definitely a good positive thing. What I definitely want to ask, though, is it sounds like you're really, really passionate about fitness stuff in general. You did sports science as well at university. What actually interested you in the first place to get into general fitness related stuff?
So in terms of going to uni to study sports science, when I was young, I was always into sports. However, I wasn't into learning sports. But obviously, as an African, coming from an African background, my mum sort of noticed that I liked playing basketball, playing football, all of that stuff. And she was like, why don't you just go into sports? Because at that time, I didn't know what I wanted to do as per like studying. So she sort of like just dragged me down that direction. So she was like, at college, you're going to do sports. Uni came. Why don't you pick something that have to do with sports? I was like, okay, cool. At that time, I was young, so I had to sort of like, even though I sort of didn't want to do it, I sort of I was like, okay, let me just listen to mum. So I got into sports. So I went to uni. I did sports science and coaching. So my first year of sports studying, I was just like, oh, this is way too difficult. But I still continued anyways. It was one of those things that it was challenging, but as time went on, I started liking it. I started learning more about different parts of the body, how the body works, the biomechanics of the body, the psychological aspects of sports, coaching as well. Because during my coaching side of my course, I had to do portfolio, so I had to like go to different schools to teach basketball, coach, football coach, different sort of stuff to add to my portfolio sort of thing. So I sort of loved doing that, coaching people, helping people sort of thing. But at that point, I was training, but not training as serious as I wanted to. You know the regular gym goers. They'll go to the gym just to get a pump. They'll go. They won't have a specific. They won't have a specific sort of like structure to the training. I was the sort of person who would do that, but I still sort of somehow got good results from it. It wasn't the perfect results, but it was sort of good. And everyone looked at me. They were like, "Oh, Tony, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're looking good, blah blah blah. Teach me how to do this." But for me, it was more from the female side. They were like, oh, females will see me and they'll be like, oh, you're big. Why don't you be my personal trainer? At that point, I wasn't really qualified to teach anyone, so I didn't know the process anyways. But at the same time, in my mind, I was like, I don't want to hurt these people. I don't want to hurt them. But as time went on, I started training a little bit serious. And I started posting videos on Instagram, and I would get random messages from people asking me questions saying, what sort of food do you eat? What sort of exercises are you doing? Can you help me? Can you do this? Can you do that? And that sort of thing. I sort of liked it. Not necessarily the attention, but I sort of liked people asking me, feeling like they could come to me for help sort of thing. And with that, I sort of thought, why don't I become a personal trainer? Why did I make some money out of this? But at that point, it was even the passion sort of thing that I was passionate for helping people. So I had a passion to help people anyways. I wanted to see people progress in terms of like their fitness journey, physically, mentally. I love seeing people progress. So it was the hype that made people come to me. That was what made me really get into the fitness industry sort of thing. Yeah, it was just the passion to help people.
What would you say is actually your goal that you're trying to get to? Do you have anything in mind that you want to try and achieve or try and get to a certain point?
What, in terms of training or just in general?
I think more probably in terms of probably more from a business aspect. So right now you're doing personal training, but I'm assuming that you want to take that to some point or you want to build on that and do something else in the future.
Business, in terms of business, I would like to be able to do something that everyone can benefit from. So whether it's fitness, whether it's like just diving into media stuff, whether it's getting into some sort of charity stuff, anything that is going to help people, anything that's going to benefit people, because I'm a strong believer in helping people, which is also why I got into personal training. Like when people come to me and ask me to obviously train them, I take that seriously. In the future, I want to be able to help people all around the world, to be honest, from wherever I am, which is why I'm trying to get into the whole online training as well. In 5 years' time, I see myself. I've kind of looked at myself in 5 years' time. I see myself sort of like opening my own space, sort of thing, like whether it's a gym or just like a studio where people can come in and train and I can train them, or whether I hire out like personal trainers or I train personal trainers to come and sort of train their clients at my gym, sort of thing. So that's really what I see, to be honest.
Sounds good. You actually jumped ahead. I was gonna come to that 5-year question a little bit later, but that's perfectly fine. Tell us actually about your kind of daily routine and habits that you do on a daily basis, especially anything that might keep you motivated to keep going.
So in terms of my daily activities, I wake up every day at 5 in the morning. I wake up every day at 5 in the morning to be at work for 6. During the day, I train people and I sort of like just generally look after the gym and like talk to people at the gym, sort of see if I can help them, because that's what I'm there for, sort of thing. I'm there at the gym to help people. So I go to the gym, train my clients throughout to the evening. I usually run a group session with a couple of ladies every evening as well. And straight after that, I train myself. Sometimes if I've got time during the day, I will train myself before I continue training my other clients. For me, what keeps me motivated is me thinking about my end goal. So I have a long-term goal, and in order to reach that long-term goal, I set myself up with short-term goals. I say I must do this amount of hours training people or doing something, talking to people every day. And me achieving my goals, my short-term goals, sort of motivate me for the next day to say, yes, I've done this, I'm going to smash it the next day, sort of thing. Because I believe enough action creates results.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have a goal and you're not doing anything to sort of reach that goal, you're going to remain stagnant. You're going to remain in the same place. You need to make enough action to create your result, to sort of get to your goal. Because if you set a destination in your car when you're driving, if you set a destination to get to a certain place and you're still in the same place, how are you going to get to your destination, sort of thing?
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that.
You need to always, and also I believe in reflecting back at your sort of your goal, reviewing yourself, looking at where you are now, compare it to where you were before, and that sort of should drive you to push more. Don't ever look at, even if you don't hit your target, even though you don't reach your goals, your short-term goals, don't even think about it. Just think about what you've achieved, because a positive thinking, your thoughts affect your future, sort of thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. Like, I don't know if you understand, but like the way you think attracts things. So if you're thinking positively, all the time, positive things are going to keep happening, and they're going to keep coming.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking negative things all the time, negative things are always going to keep happening.
Absolutely, yeah.
You need to surround yourself with things that are positive. Even if there's nothing positive, your mind needs to be thinking, yes, this is happening, this is good. You need to be always grateful for things that are happening, sort of thing. And every time I think about that, I'm always motivated to do more, to keep going, to keep driving to achieve what I want to do.
Yeah, I think that's a trait of businessmen. Like they always see the positive in situations, so they never look at a situation and think, "Oh, I'm gonna make a loss. I'm not gonna succeed at this." They'll see the positive, like what am I actually gonna gain from that?
Man. Always.
Yeah, if you look at successful people, it's always a common trait that they've always had. That they always look at things in a positive way. Just on that, do you do any sort of like daily, weekly, monthly self-reflection type of thing? Like, do you do any a specific activity to actually reflect on things?
Yes, I do. So maybe at the end of the week, or sometimes I don't know if I would look at because I always write my goals down on a piece of paper, and then I'll stick it onto a wall or something. I'll look at it and I'll tick it off. What have I done this month? What have I done this week? Have I achieved something this month? Have I not achieved anything? If not, what can I do to sort of to make this possible, sort of thing. You always want to keep yourself active, keep moving, keep making, keep productive. If there's something you haven't achieved, literally just write it onto the next page for the next month and keep doing it. Yeah, that's my sort of like ritual for the end of the month. Always review myself, always review everything. I write everything on a piece of paper, everything I want to achieve, and stick it onto a wall.
Have you ever found yourself looking at those goals that you've had, and maybe there's been a particular week or month that you haven't achieved the stuff that you wanted to? Does that affect your motivation in any way?
Yeah, I've had a lot of those weeks, a lot of that scenario in my life, but I don't let it put me down, because the moment I let it put me down, that's the end of it. That's me thinking negative. If I think negative, everything is just gonna fall to pieces. So you never want to let things like that put you down. Even if, like I said, if you haven't achieved anything, put it onto the next goal, put it onto the next phase, and smash it again. Keep going. Literally.
So the way that you get over it is almost thinking, well, I have to keep that positive mindset rather than thinking, oh, I didn't do it, and therefore it gets you down.
So what I do is I always, you can find most of this meditation stuff on YouTube or something, like this positive affirmation stuff. So I'll go on YouTube, I'll type in maybe meditation affirmation stuff, videos or something, and I'll put my earphones in, and every time I walk into work, or I'm chilling or something, or writing a program or something, or working on a project or editing videos, I'll play those things. So those things will have words like statements like, I am successful, I am healthy, I am positive, I am grateful, and just positive affirmation stuff that will just keep playing up in my head. Because sometimes you wanna program your mind to keep telling yourself that you are everything positive, you are everything good, you are. You want to keep playing those things in your head, so that way, even if something goes wrong, you remember that affirmation.
Yeah.
I am good. I am always happy. I am this. You would never want to let anything affect your mood, because if that happens, you might lose. Another example, you might just lose good people around you. You don't want your vibe to affect people around you, sort of thing. The thing with me as well is I'll never allow someone's negative vibe to affect me. I'll try my best to sort of like put that person's mind away from negativity. But if that person is just being negative all the time, I'm just going to push myself away from it and sort of just affirm that, just tell myself that everything is going well. You want to always keep saying everything is going well, regardless of whatever is happening around you.
Yeah.
Because it might not happen. Good things might not happen straight away, but if you keep telling yourself that good things are going to happen, when that good thing happen, it's going to be really good. So you want to always keep telling yourself good things.
Just on that, have you ever faced negativity directly from maybe close family or friends? And if so, how have you actually managed to overcome that?
With family, I've never experienced anything bad, any negativity from family. My mom is always supportive of everything that I do. Majority of my friends are supportive of me, especially when it comes to the whole fitness thing.
Yeah.
At first it's quite funny actually. At first, when I was always going to the gym, well, I still always go to the gym, but when I first started, I was always posting, I'm at the gym, I'm at the gym. And my friends would be like, every day at the gym. It's not every day, Tony, blah, blah, blah. And I always just laugh about it and I'll just like ignore it. As soon as I hit 6,000 followers or maybe 10,000 followers, people, those same friends were like, wow, Tony, you're doing a lot, Tony. That gym is working for you, Tony. You're doing really well, Tony. Those same people that sort of like were negative towards you, saying you're doing way too much of this, Tony, you need to stop.
Yeah.
They come back to you when they sort of like acknowledge the fact that you're doing good out of what you used to do.
Yeah.
So for me, I never experienced a lot of negative reactions or negative vibe from close people, but when I did, or if I ever do, I would just take it and not really react to it, to be honest. I'll just keep doing what I do, because I've seen a quote that says, do you regardless, because people are always going to talk about you.
Yeah.
People will always talk about you negatively, positively, but just take it and keep doing you. Don't let those bad vibes ruin you, because your thoughts become things, man.
Absolutely. You mentioned you already use the positive affirmation type stuff from YouTube. Do you look at anything else like other meditation stuff or any other reading that really helps you keep that positive mindset?
No, not really. I think I found one that works for me. I found one that works for me and I stuck to that because it related to really, really what I want in life. So the one I use is affirmations for happiness, wealth, and abundance. Really and truly, all I want in life is to be happy, rich, and to have wealth in abundance, sort of thing. So that is all I want: happiness and wealth in abundance. That is all I want.
Fair enough.
So that's what I listen. That's what I listen to. So it depends on what you want. So if you search that on YouTube, and you might find different ones, but you listen to different ones and you just literally find out what you want. I'm not a big reader. I don't like reading too much. I get distracted really easy, so I'd rather listen.
Fair enough. And that's actually why I end up doing podcasts, and I listen to a lot of podcasts myself, is I'm not a great reader myself. I do read some books, and I typically read more on Kindle rather than physical books, but podcasts for me is just so much easier to consume information.
Definitely.
Yeah, so you're quite early in your journey at the moment, and it sounds like you've got still a lot of stuff that you want to try and achieve. But so far, is there any advice that you would give people, especially people who might actually be looking at getting into personal training or using that to then progress in some sort of business afterwards? Is there any advice that you would give to people on that front?
Anyone that wants to start a business or go into personal training or literally anything, literally all our advice is to know what you want to achieve long term. Don't always think about the short term goals, what you want to achieve now. Think about what you want to achieve in the future, and then create short term goals, things that will lead you to that long term goal. Think of longevity. For example, I'm going to use music as an example. Gigs. A lot of people listen to gigs, right? he created a song back in the day called "Talking the Hardest," or it's something about a cat. I can't remember. But that song is still being played up till now, sort of thing. So it's all about longevity. Do something that is going to last. Make a plan that's going to last really long.
Yeah.
So something like that. So just think about the long-term goal and prepare yourself by creating short-term goals. That's one of the advice I'll give people. It's not going to be an easy journey, but you can't really rush. And another one is be patient. Don't really rush into anything. Just be patient, be humble. Always be nice to people around you, whether it's your clients. Add value to everything. Everything that you do, add value. Because value is very important to clients, to customers. If there's no value in your work, if they're not benefiting anything really, really good out of your work, if it's plain simple, they're going to feel like you don't care about them, and they won't. Those customers, those clients will not last. So you always need to add value to your work, to your service. That is really important.
Absolutely. Would you do anything differently if you were to go back in time, whether that's even 1 year or even more?
To be honest, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do anything different to be honest, because everything that has happened to me has happened for a reason, and everything that has happened has been planned. Last year, I told myself that this is where I'm going to be, and I am here now. That was one of my long-term goals. So last year, I was doing my level 2 in fitness instructing, and I told myself this time next year, I'm going to be a personal trainer. I don't know if I'm going to be making a lot of money as a personal trainer. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything as a personal trainer, but I'm going to be a personal trainer. Now I've set myself a long-term goal, and I don't really want to brag, but I am good as a personal trainer. but now I've hit my sort of long-term goal, a year's goal. Now I've set myself a really long-term goal, 5 years time goal, and I'm working towards it.
For your 5-year goal, do you have any advice around what you would give yourself or even other people to actually achieve that goal? So how do you make it into an achievable goal for you?
All I have to say to that is enough action creates results. Never ever let yourself get bored. Always be active. Always stay active. Whether it's talking to new people every day, networking, being on, maybe if you're a social media person, going on social media, being active. It doesn't matter if you're posting fitness videos, asking questions on Instagram, as long as you're engaging with everyone around you, talking to people, talking to potential customers. Because as a business person, as a personal trainer as well, everyone is a potential customer. Whether you're making money from them or not, they will buy from you at one point. So always be active, keep doing something. Don't let yourself ever get bored. Don't tell yourself that you're bored. Don't say anything negative. Be positive and make enough action, because enough action creates results.
And just to give an idea, because I know earlier you mentioned you wake up at 5 a.m. and then you also do client training, some group sessions and your own training. Yeah. What time do you then end up sleeping?
Sometimes I sleep at 10, sometimes I sleep at 11.
So the most you're getting is around 7 hours sleep at any given day then?
Yeah, sometimes it depends also if I have something else to do straight after when I get back home, because sometimes I get back home at 9, sometimes I get back home at 10. Then I just go on to do other client stuff, maybe editing projects that I want to post on YouTube or Instagram, working on clients' training programs, working on my training programs. Yeah, so sometimes I sleep at 10, 11, 12.
Well, the reason why I ask is just to give people an idea that sometimes you have to really sacrifice even like your sleep and, you know, some of the more things that you take for granted in life just to get things done. So just want to give people a true idea on, you know, you're getting so little sleep in order for you to achieve your goals.
Definitely. It's a hard graft. It's a hard graft, especially when you're in your 20s. You see it this way. You work hard in your 20s. I know some of you have heard this. Work hard in your 20s, and in your 30s, you can sort of relax.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time. My mentor told me, at least work a minimum, and this is only a minimum of 8 hours a bloody day. 8 hours. And most time I go past that. Sometimes I work 12 hours. Sometimes I work more than 12 hours. And that's because I wake up at 5 every day, get to work for 6, and then I finish at 9 or 10.
I think it's useful for people to actually hear that, because a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, maybe I can work a normal 9 to 5 sort of shift in order to achieve goals which are greater than that. And it's just to be realistic that, you got to put in a lot of work.
Oh man, if you're working a 9 to 5, at a normal job, that is totally fine. But if you are working for yourself, self-employed, you have a lot of free time. So what you do with your time has to give you something back. So you can't waste. People think that working for yourself, when you proclaim yourself self-employed, you start getting a lot of money all of a sudden. The thing that people have to realize that if you do not work, you do not eat. As a self-employed person, having a 9 to 5 job is totally fine. But still, with that, if you're thinking of diverting from employed 9 to 5 to self-employed, you still have to. That 9 to 5 has to keep going. You might even have to do overtime, to be honest.
Yeah.
You might have to do overtime if you can, to divert into self-employed, because you need a lot of investment in order to sort of this business, this self-employed business life is not easy. It's a hard graft, man. It's a hard graft. You need to wake up early, maximize your day. Maximize your day. Everything that's 50% of everything that's meant to happen to you will happen to you. The outcome of that depends on you and what you do. If you're making use of your time, you get something back. If you're not making use of your time, if you're doing nothing, you get nothing. So
yeah, absolutely. And just to add to that, I actually know a few people who not only do they work a full-time 9 to 5 job, but they are also grafting away in their free time to get other things like side hustles and other businesses off the ground and get them successful. And I know the amount of effort that people like that put in. It doesn't come easy. It absolutely doesn't come easy.
Yeah, it does not come easy, but at the end, they will be smiling. At the end, they will be smiling because they've worked a lot to deserve what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned there that you actually have a mentor. That's something that we haven't touched on at the moment. Do you want to just elaborate on that? Like, how do you find that useful, and what do you use your mentor for?
Another thing I would kind of advise people is to be around people that know a lot more than you, people that are up there. So I use my mentor for motivation. He makes loads of money, and that's what I want to do. I want to make tons of money. I want to make tons of money. And he looking at him and the way he is, that motivates me. But it's not just that. It's the words he say. It's the things he tells me to do. It's the way he helps me tweak my mindset. Sort of teaches me things that he knows. Teaches me how to talk to people, because I wasn't always a big talker of like. I wasn't always good at talking to people. He would teach me the right way. He would teach me the best possible way to negotiate with people, talk to people, how to present myself in the best possible way ever, sort of thing. If I ever have an idea, I'll go to him straight away first. I'll talk to him, and he'll give me an input of what he thinks that idea is going to be like. He'll ask me questions like, have you thought about the time that it's going to take to do this idea? Have you thought about how it's going to work? Is it going to be good? He'll just ask me different questions. And I also have a friend like that as well, who's been helping me out throughout, like, since when I started. I'll go to him as well. I'll ask him questions, because he's also good as well. He makes a lot of money. I'll ask him questions like, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And he'll give me his input on that. So it's always nice to have people, not just mentors, have people around you who are motivating you, who are up there as well, who strive for greatness, sort of thing. Because if if you have a group of people like that around you, the only way is up, man. They're literally the only way is up, because they will motivate you. And if you achieve something, that will motivate them, and they will achieve more. And it sort of bounces, the positivity and the greatness sort of bounces off each other. And that's the sort of things you want to be around, because if you're always around that sort of thing, goodness.
I don't know if this is an actual quote or not, but I think you're only as good as the people around you. And I think that's so true.
Exactly.
And I've seen this now with a lot of people, that they have such a good circle of friends and people that motivate them, and they're all successful, that, you know, every individual in that group ends up being successful. One of the good examples that you could probably see from this is Kevin Hart and his group of friends. So all of his friends are actually, and a lot of people don't know this, but they all have their own businesses and they're doing something or another. And one of the people who've made it really big out of those friends as well is Just Train. I can't remember what his real name is now, but he does not only Kevin Hart's coaching and fitness stuff, but he has other clients, like some pretty big clients that he coaches as well. So if you look at that whole group, you actually do a bit of research into what they do and who they are, you'll find that each of them is successful in their own right. That's something that people that forget about, that, you know, they're hanging around people who, you know, they're too busy partying and, you know, relaxing all the time.
Definitely.
That's actually quite toxic for you. They don't realize that.
Honestly, you want to be around people who are not useless, basically. You want to be around people who strive for greatness. You don't want to be around people who just want to party every weekend and turn up every. Trust me, it's nice to turn up, but if you are around people who are up there, who are doing good for themselves, all you have to do is just say, guys, let's book a flight to somewhere nice, not in a club, not a usual club, not unusual. Book a flight for somewhere nice and let's go turn up in a villa. And that's the sort of level you want to be at, not going out every night to a crappy bar or maybe some rubbish rave. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want somewhere nicer.
Absolutely.
So if you're with people that are up there, man, you want greatness around you, and that's gonna make your mindset even better.
Yeah.
That's gonna keep the positive. You will never be negative around people who strive for greatness.
Absolutely, yes. 100% agree with you on that. Do you have any final closing bits of advice or remarks that you'd like to share? Another
thing I would like to say is always be nice to people, man. Always be nice to people, because I believe I'm also a strong believer in karma as well, because if you do good, you get good bad. If you do bad, you get bad. Always be nice to people. For example, it's also on social media as well. If you're a social media person, if someone says something rude to you, reply back with a nice message, like maybe if you're religious or something, God bless you or something like that. If someone keeps pestering you, even on social media, be nice about it. Tell them to sort of be friendly with them. Friend zone them, so they friend zone them. Don't be mean to them. Don't tell them to stuff, or don't say something bad, because that person could be a potential customer, potential buyer from you. You want to be nice to everyone around you. And if you are a social media person, someone that's looking to grow your social media, like, be nice to everyone, like everyone's picture, even though the person's ugly, like them, like the picture, like the picture, because they will like your picture back. They will be interested. Once they look at your profile, they will be interested in you. Everyone is a potential customer. Everyone is a potential friend. Everyone is a potential networking associate. Everyone has a potential to be something. So be nice to everyone, because you never know who's going to help you in your journey.
Great positive message to end on there. Where can people find you on? I know your social media, but I know you've probably got a few other channels as well. So where can people find you?
My Instagram and my Twitter is Tony Alphaa, so Alpha with 2 A's at the end. My YouTube, I haven't really kicked off on that yet, but maybe that will be coming soon. Snapchat, Tony E0. I kind of made that a long time ago. It was a default one, but Tony E0. Facebook, Tony Alphaa as well, with 2 A's at the end. And that is all about what I'm active on. But I'm more active on Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram, Tony Alphaa with 2 A's at the end, you will find me there. And if I'm more than happy to answer any fitness related questions if you are looking for any help or advice.
And I'll be sure to have all of those listed down in the show notes of this episode as well, so you can find all of those very easily. Thank you so much for your time, Tony. I know, like I said at the beginning, it was a little bit challenging arranging it and getting it together, but we finally did. And I think it was a great episode that a lot of people can find very, very helpful and interesting as well. So
definitely, thank you. Man, definitely. Yeah, anytime, guys.
Thanks a lot.